Everyone, so in this video we are going to see about the intercostal veins and intercostal lymphatics. That means now we are in the intercostal spaces part 4, intercostal spaces part 4 you can say. Okay, so first we will see about the intercostal veins. Intercostal veins, you know, there are 11 pairs of the intercostal spaces situated between the 12 pairs of the ribs. And intercostal arteries, like intercostal arteries, these intercostal veins also are divided into the anterior set and the posterior set. So here these intercostal veins, they are divided in the two groups. So one group is anterior intercostal veins and another group you can say is the posterior intercostal veins. So these veins accompany the intercostal arteries. We have seen already intercostal spaces contain intercostal muscles, intercostal vessels and intercostal nerves. So coming to these intercostal veins, like intercostal arteries, they are arranged in the anterior and the posterior intercostal veins. Now if you see, the last two spaces are open anteriorly because 11th and 12th ribs are floating ribs or vertebral ribs. So they don't have the anterior intercostal vessels. Same is true for the veins also. So if you see the total number of the anterior intercostal veins, they are present in 1 to the 9th intercostal spaces. But if you see posterior intercostal veins, yes, they are present in all the intercostal spaces. That means from 1 to the 11th intercostal spaces. Okay. Then coming to the number. So in each space, how many are the anterior intercostal veins? So like intercostal arteries, anterior intercostal veins, they are 2 in number in each space. And like arteries, posterior intercostal veins are 1. There is only one posterior intercostal vein in each space. Okay. Then coming to the termination, where these anterior intercostal veins they terminate. So from 1st to the 6th intercostal spaces, they terminate into the internal thoracic vein. You know, this arteries, 1st to the 6th anterior intercostal arteries are the branches of internal thoracic artery. Similarly, venous drainage is the same vein, the name of same vein. So 7th, 8th and the 9th anterior intercostal veins, they drain into the musculophrenic vein. Now if you see this posterior intercostal veins, for the drainage of this posterior intercostal veins, here I will draw one diagram. Okay, so here suppose this is the right brachiocephalic vein. Okay, this is right brachiocephalic vein. It unites with the left brachiocephalic vein. Okay, so here somewhere, suppose this is the left brachiocephalic vein. This is left brachiocephalic vein. Both unite to form the superior vena cava. Okay, this superior vena cava on the right side, you know, now in this diagram, this is the right side and here you get this is the left side. Okay, so on the right side you get one vein called azygous vein. Suppose if I draw here, this is the azygous vein. Here you get this is azygous vein present on the right side. It opens into superior vena cava. So this is azygous vein. Azygous means unpaired. It's not paired with any artery. So azygous vein. So this coming to the now terminations of these posterior intercostal veins. For this, I will suggest you to make the 3 sets of the veins. In each set 4 veins. That means along with the 11th, your 11th intercostal spaces, you are combining the subcostal vein also. So like that 12 veins we will get. So here we will make them in the 3 sets. Suppose here is the first posterior intercostal vein of the left side. Here second, here third, here fourth. So one set we finish. Okay. Likewise on the right side also, suppose this is the first, here you get the second, here you get the third, here is the fourth. So so one set is over. So these are the intercostal veins. Likewise, if we draw the next set, that is the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. These 4 veins we will combine. Okay. So here also on the right side 5th, 6th, 7th and here we get the 8th intercostal vein. Okay. Then one more set of 4 we require, and suppose here this is 9th, here is the 10th, here you get this is 11th, and actually this 12th is the subcostal vein. This is subcostal vein. It is not the intercostal vein. Just for our convenience, I have divided them in the 4 groups. And here you get the 12th and this is the subcostal. Okay. Now how is the termination? How is the termination of these veins? On the left side, you know, here I have drawn, this is left brachiocephalic. We have labeled this is left brachiocephalic vein. So the first posterior intercostal vein directly opens in the left brachiocephalic vein. On the right side also it opens in the right brachiocephalic vein. So first posterior intercostal vein drains in the brachiocephalic veins. First posterior intercostal vein on the left side in the left brachiocephalic vein, on the right side in the right brachiocephalic vein. Now what happens to the second, third and the fourth? Second, third, fourth posterior intercostal veins, actually they unite and form the superior intercostal vein. They unite and they form one vein, and this vein is called as the superior intercostal vein. So if I label here, this vein is superior intercostal vein, which drains in the left brachiocephalic vein on the left side. If you draw similar vein on the right side, so it drains in the azygous vein. It drains in the azygous vein. So here you get this is superior intercostal vein. Okay. Now coming, so we have finished now one set of the veins we have finished. Coming to the next set. So here these veins, that is 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th on the left side, they unite to form, these veins, 4 veins unite to form the accessory hemiazygous vein, which crosses the midline and passes towards the right side. From the left side it traverses towards the right side to open in the azygous vein. So this vein is accessory hemiazygous vein. Accessory hemiazygous vein. Okay. On the right side, as there is azygous vein nearby, all these veins, that is 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, they open in the azygous vein. They open in the azygous vein. So that is the drainage of the posterior intercostal veins up to 8th. Now what happens to the next posterior intercostal vein? So these intercostal veins, that is 9th, 10th, 11th, unite with, or you can say they drain in the hemiazygous vein. They drain into the hemiazygous vein. So here I have drawn this vein. This is hemiazygous vein. This hemiazygous vein crosses from left to the right side to open in the azygous vein. Okay. So here you get this 12th is the subcostal vein, which actually unites with one vein here, which is called as the ascending lumbar vein. Ascending lumbar vein to form the hemiazygous vein. Similarly, on the right side, what happens? These veins, that is 9th, you get 9th, 10th, 11th and the 12th. So here 12th is subcostal. Actually this subcostal vein unites with the right. So here is the left. So right, likewise here you get the right ascending lumbar vein and forms the azygous vein. Azygous vein. These two unite to form the azygous vein. Okay. Then here if you see all the posterior intercostal veins, now the termination is over. So these posterior intercostal veins, they run on the posterior wall of the thorax. So first intercostal veins, posterior intercostal veins on both sides open in the brachiocephalic vein. Second, third, fourth, they unite to form superior intercostal veins. Superior intercostal vein of the left side opens in the left brachiocephalic vein, and on the right side it opens in the azygous vein. Remaining all the veins on the right side, they open in the azygous vein, while on the left side 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th posterior intercostal veins unite to form accessory hemiazygous vein, which crosses the midline, passes towards the right side and opens in the azygous vein at the level of T8 vertebra. While here the next 9th, 10th, 11th posterior intercostal veins, they open in the hemiazygous vein, which crosses from left to the right side and opens in this azygous vein at the level of T9 vertebra. While the how this hemiazygous vein is formed, subcostal vein and ascending lumbar vein, left ascending lumbar, unite to form the hemiazygous vein. Sometimes what happens, here you get the inferior vena cava. Suppose here is the right renal vein and here you get, this is the left renal vein. So this is inferior vena cava and this is a left renal vein. Sometimes you get the vein directly arises from, on the left side it arises from the posterior aspect of the left renal vein. So that time it is called lumbar azygous vein, lumbar azygous vein, and instead of ascending lumbar, it may arise on the right side from the posterior surface of the inferior vena cava. So that is about the posterior intercostal veins. Okay, so here see anterior intercostal veins, they are present in first to the 9th intercostal spaces, 2 in each space. First to the 6th they open in the internal thoracic vein, and 7th, 8th, 9th they open in musculophrenic vein. While on the posterior side you get the posterior intercostal vein, they actually occupy major portion of intercostal space in the costal groove with the relation from above downwards as vein, artery and nerve from above downwards in the same neurovascular plane, that is between intercostalis intimi and internal intercostal muscle. So that is about the intercostal veins. Now we will see about the intercostal lymphatics. Intercostal lymphatics, like the vessels, even these intercostal lymphatics, they are divided in the two sets. So the two sets of this intercostal lymphatics, they are drained, the intercostal spaces, they are drained in the two sets of the lymph nodes. Anterior part is drained into the anterior intercostal lymph nodes, while the posterior part is drained into this posterior intercostal lymph nodes, posterior intercostal lymph nodes. Now what happens to the anterior intercostal lymph nodes? These anterior intercostal lymph nodes, actually they form the bronchomediastinal trunk, bronchomediastinal trunk. After uniting with the efferents coming from, it receives the actually efferents coming from the lymph nodes, two lymph nodes, the brachiocephalic lymph nodes and the tracheobronchial lymph nodes So lymphatics of these two lymph nodes, two sets of the lymph nodes, again with the efferents of anti-intercostal lymph node, they form the bronchomediastinal trunk. And how is the termination of this bronchomediastinal trunk? Means if you see this bronchomediastinal trunk, on the right side its termination is different and on the left side its termination is different. So on the right side it opens in the subclavian trunk. It opens in the subclavian trunk, while on the left side it opens. So here is the left side. On the left side it opens into the thoracic duct. So that is how is the lymphatic drainage of the anterior intercostal lymph nodes. Now what happens to the posterior intercostal lymph nodes? So this posterior efferents coming from the posterior intercostal lymph nodes again are divided in the two sets. So you can say they are again divided in the two sets. One set that is from actually the lower intercostal, lower four intercostal spaces, they drain into the cisterna chyli, while the upper intercostal spaces, the efferents are same like that of the brachiomediastinal trunk. That means again here also you get they are divided in the two parts, right side and the left side. On the right side they open in the subclavian trunk, and on the left side they open into the thoracic duct. So that is about the intercostal lymphatics. So intercostal lymphatics divided into the anterior intercostal lymph nodes and the posterior intercostal lymph nodes. Anterior intercostal lymph nodes efferents they pass to form the bronchomediastinal trunk, which on the right side terminates in the subclavian trunk and on the left side opens in the thoracic duct, while the posterior intercostal lymph nodes efferents they pass and they open either in cisterna chyli or the subclavian trunk and thoracic duct, depending on the which intercostal space the lymph nodes are situated. So that is about the intercostal veins and intercostal lymphatics. Thank you.